The American Task Force on Lebanon is a nonprofit, an NGO, charitable educational organization made up of Americans of Lebanese ancestry. And we care a great deal about the U.S.-Lebanon relationship and how we can bring our two countries closer together on common interests and common values. And of course, we have a very special love for the home of our ancestry, Lebanon. And so it makes for a very interesting organization. I was 44 years old when I first saw Lebanon. My father had come to America in 1910. So you can imagine how long it had been for us to have any contact directly with Lebanon. That's the makeup of our organization. Many second and third generation Lebanese Americans who have never seen Lebanon, who care a great deal about the land of their ancestors. And so we want to build a prosperous, democratic, and stable Lebanon. How do we do that? Through American interests. And can we bring the two countries closer together? In that sense, we bring a lot of good ideas to Lebanon in terms of how America is thinking and how they can help. But in the reverse, we come back home from these trips and we often advise American policymakers on what they should be doing better and different. In that sense, I think we've developed a very strong reputation in the United States with the administration, no matter which one it is, and also with the Congress. It's a very bipartisan group who cares a great deal about U.S.-Lebanon relations. The biggest challenge it faces is twofold. One is getting the political class in Lebanon to act. We often have good ideas that we carry from the United States to Lebanon as good carrots in many cases that can help develop the country. But it requires action on the part of the government. And so many times that we work with them, and so many occasions, we find that they're unwilling or unable to make decisions. We think this is mainly a problem between a corrupt class that has existed in Lebanon for many years, and Hezbollah, who is more influential than they should be over the affairs of the country. The combination of personal interests with Hezbollah's interests, I think, has really affected our ability in many cases to convince the United States to do more for Lebanon. So that's one challenge. The other challenge is to make sure that when we advocate for Lebanese issues, that the money is going to be spent correctly through NGOs and other reputable organizations like the Lebanese Armed Forces. And it won't go into the hands of militias or corrupt individuals. A great question. I think ATFL has been around 37 years. It's multi-confessional. All the major religions in Lebanon are represented on our board of directors and in our membership. It started off as an organization that wanted to raise awareness of what Lebanon is, what it can be to the United States, and also connect our diaspora with the U.S. government here in this country, as well as connecting our diaspora in Lebanon. But now it's evolved. It's evolved into, I think, a very important educational organization. We're able and we're trusted to advise and educate the United States Congress, the House and the Senate, Republican and Democrat. They call us often for information and advice. They trust us now. That's a big step forward. Same in the administrations. You know, I've worked now with 3 administrations, Obama, Trump, and Biden, I guess, for Trump again. And what we're finding out in our dealings with them is there's great respect for the work we do and trust that we're going to tell the truth. Mm-hmm. I think that has been very helpful. And that's the biggest challenge we have. But I think we've shown in many cases, particularly in the case of the Lebanese Armed Forces, that we can show that there are institutions in Lebanon, the most important institution, deserves support. Also, the university system needs support, AUB, LAU, the public schools, and we can talk about that more. We are a diaspora organization. Mm-hmm. We represent members who are very influential in their communities. So it's a grass tops organization, not a grassroots organization. And in every city in the United States, we have prominent Americans of Lebanese ancestry. So they're very important to helping guide us in terms of what we want to get done in Washington. So we have the expertise in Washington. We know how Washington works, which is a special skill. But we also have the support and guidance and advice of the diaspora. And that makes for a very important and I think a strong organization when we go to Lebanon. Because in Lebanon, we're bringing with us people who may have immigrated from there or still have family there or are well known. And in that sense, we're able to use our members and our diaspora as well when we visit in Lebanon with the political class there. And as you know, when we go to Lebanon, we meet with everyone at the highest levels. The door is open to us. And I think, again, it comes back to building trust and being honest with the facts and not afraid to tell the truth. This is new to us. We're working very hard to look at the next generation of our young Americans of Lebanese ancestry, Lebanese Americans, and we're doing a couple of things there. We're developing a program to actually attract young people from the various communities around the country to help engage on issues with us, to give them some sense of how Washington works, and to learn from them on what their priorities and issues are in the next generation. Secondly, we're recruiting younger people for the board and for the membership. So we're looking at more gender diversity, more religious diversity, and youth diversity. When it comes to helping Lebanese youth in Lebanon, there's a number of programs that we've worked on. Most of all is the school program, which is really important. I talked to you about the universities and supporting them to the tens of millions of dollars we've gotten for them. But the public school system and the private school system, primary and secondary schools, are really hurting. And so we've worked closely with people who advocate for those school systems there and how to really improve the educational level for them. What we found, for instance, is the average primary school in Lebanon has about 60% of its budget is electricity, which I didn't know. Think about it, if we can bring solar projects to villages to support that, that'll free up money for teachers' salaries. And so one of the most important things we can do for the youth is make sure Lebanon's education remains at the highest level, along with our advocacy for health issues as well. Our short and long-term goals are the following. Right now, we've been kind of sidetracked the last few years. It started with the collapse in 19, and then the Beirut bombing, and other kinds of things that have happened along the way. Now there's a war. So right now, today, our priority is get a ceasefire, get a president elected, so that president can the head of state, can represent the country of Lebanon in a negotiation with Israel and other partners on what the long-term solution is going to be on the border crisis. How are they going to get to 1701, 1559, some of these other things? How are they going to settle the land border? They need to stand up the LAF. The LAF needs $500 to $1 billion. So it's a lot of money there. We need a head of state that can form a government that can be trusted to implement these very important things on the border. LAF is important as well. And of course, reconstruction of the South now is very important, along with humanitarian aid for the displaced. So that's kind of the most immediate. Of course, the longer term issue and the issue that we were involved with prior to all these collapse was the economic program, and working very diligently with the parliament and with the leaders of the government for an IMF program. We'll get back to that, but it's been pushed back with these other priorities. So those in a nutshell are the most important things, along with education, health, and some of these other initiatives. The good news is we're very lucky in the case of President Trump to have a member of his own family be Lebanese. His grandchildren will be Lebanese. And Masad Boulous, who's a fine man and cares a great deal about his homeland, will be a great partner with ATFL. We are talking already. We exchanged greetings this morning, and we're looking forward to moving very quickly ahead. So our program won't change, though. It's that ceasefire, it's that president, it's an economic package, it's support for the LAF, education, health. Those will remain the same for now. We got to deal with the refugees. That's another big issue that we're confronted with as well. So those will remain the priorities for us.